Okay, today I just kind of wanted to talk about a western that I happen to like. It's one of my favorites. Now, that doesn't mean that it's one of the best. I mean, it's far from being one of the best westerns you've ever seen. It's just one that I really like and happen to enjoy. This is a Sam Peckinpah film, and it was kind of a mess. It was cut down by the studio. There's epic stories behind the making of this film. I mean, at one point, Charlton Heston was gonna slash, Sam Peckinpah with a saber. He got so mad at him. Richard Harris, I think, was hammered through most of the production, as was Peckinpah. So this movie just there was so much drama behind the scenes. But anyways, enough of that. Charlton Heston plays the title role character Major Dundee, and film opens up with a slaughter, a bunch of massacred settlers, and there's this, Apaches. These rogue Apaches have stirred up all kinds of trouble. They're just raiding and killing and pillaging, and Major Dundee decides he's going to go after them. And he's basically been reprimanded. He's been sent out west, which happened quite a bit during the Civil War. If you did something that command didn't like, they would just get rid of you. They'd just get you and say, okay, we're going to send you out west, and you can just rot out there. So that's what has happened to Major Dundee. He decides he's going to go after this Apache leader played by Michael Pate. Michael Pate also played the character Vitaro in John Wayne's film Hondo. I've seen him in a lot of stuff. He's been in several episodes of The Rifleman. He's a character actor. Now, he doesn't have a whole lot to do in this movie. He's just kind of the MacGuffin to get things going. But Heston puts together like a group of, it's like a ragtag group. So he's got some Union soldiers from the barracks, which includes some colored troops. One of those is played by Brock Peters. You know Brock Peters as Admiral Cartwright in the Star Trek motion pictures, specifically Star Trek 4. I think he was in 5. I know for a fact he was in 6, The Undiscovered Country. He also played in Deep Space Nine as Benjamin Sisko's father. So he's in this, and then you have Richard Harris is a Confederate soldier. He's a prisoner because Major Dundee is essentially the warden of a prison for a bunch of Confederate POWs. So he drafts some of these guys into service. And so we've already got like tension because you have people that don't like each other. Okay, we're in the middle of the Civil War here, or towards the end of the Civil War, because I think this movie starts in 1864, if I'm not mistaken. Late in 1864. And so they get together. You also have some local citizens that are volunteered into service, which include, I know R.G. Armstrong is in this. He plays a preacher who wants to get revenge. And you also have a horse thief played by Slim Pickens. There's a couple more character actors in this. L.Q. Jones is in this movie. And they end up going down and pursuing these Apaches into Mexico. Also with them is an Indian scout, or a scout played by James Coburn, who only has one arm. And this movie's just nuts. It's bananas. They ride down into Mexico, so they cross down there, and of course there's a war going on in Mexico between the French, which have occupied Mexico because Napoleon III installed Maximilian as emperor, and so you've got the Waristas that are fighting against the French. So these guys end up getting involved in that. So not only are they chasing after these Apaches to take them down, but they end up fighting the French, and it's just completely bonkers. This movie's insane. Some have likened it as a Vietnam War allegory. That was going on at the time. Anyways, what's different about this version is that this is the restored, as you can see, the extended version. The original theatrical cut was completely butchered. Sam Peckinpah was fired, and the studio just cobbled the thing together and threw it out, and it didn't do well. Sam Peckinpah hated the soundtrack for the movie. So this has been restored. A lot of the missing footage was found and put back together, which helps make the movie make more sense. The narratively, you can follow it more. It has a completely different score, a new score that was put together for the film. And I quite like this movie. Now, it does kind of fall apart in the third act. But it's just completely bonkers. We'll never really know what Sam Peckinpah's version of the film would have been, because obviously he's not around. And some of the footage, I think, is still missing, and we'll never know exactly how he would have cut it or what type of music he would want, but this is probably the closest you're going to get to his intended vision. This particular copy here that I have has an extended 20-minute excerpt from Mike Siegel's film Passion and Poetry, The Ballad of Sam Peckinpah. There's also a commentary by some Peckinpah historians on this. And you can actually select between the two audio tracks. If you want to listen to the original theatrical music, you can, or you can toggle to the new music. I happen to prefer the new score they put together, but that's just me. The nice thing is that both versions of the audio track are available. So if you've never seen this, check it out. I like it. I think it's a pretty gritty movie. Charlton Heston is really a nasty dude in this, and I absolutely love Richard Harris in this movie. Anyways, thanks for watching. God bless, and have a wonderful day.